So hi friends, and in this tutorial we are going to see how the PHP is executed in the server side. So I'm going to just have a comparison between a HTML and a PHP and how it is executed. So first of all, let's consider an HTML one. So let's take it HTML thing. So HTML. So at first we consider a client PC and a server PC. So consider it as a client, that is a end user, and consider it as a the server which hosts the particular file. So at first the client sends a request to the server for that HTML file. Let us consider the file name would be an index.html or some file name. So actually the server search for the particular file inside this directory. So it may be some kind of directory, like if it is a Google, it will be a Google directory, and it search for the particular subdirectory and it sends the data to the client. So for execution of a HTML file, the whole HTML file, that is all the tags will be sent to the client PC where it is executed. So the client PC may have a web browser, so that it will be executed in the browser itself. So the source file we can see it, and if there is any execution like some types of security, we can just see everything. So it is something different for PHP. So let's search for PHP thing. So for example, consider a PHP thing. So for the execution of a PHP, consider a client PC, that is ourselves, which sends a request to the server PC. So server. So the client sends a request to the server, a particular thing. It may be a particular website. So I consider the name would be index.php. So the PHP is executed in the form of different layers. So the first layer would be a server thing, that is a Apache server. The second one will be a PHP, and third one will be a database. Actually, we saw this in the first tutorial itself. So the first one is the Apache. So what does the Apache do? For example, the file which receives in the Apache, like index.php or index.asp or any file name .js, etc. So what does the Apache do? The Apache just checks the extension of it and it just redirects to the particular directory. For example, if it is a PHP thing, it just sends the request to the PHP folder. So it just sends the file to the PHP folder where it is executed. So the execution may be in the form of several phases, and after the execution, the output will be in the form of HTML thing. That is, what are the necessary tags alone it will send us an output. It does not send us an coding, so that it is a server-side scripting language. So the client PC now can read an HTML file, right? So our browser can easily open an HTML file. Our site may have a lot of data flows, like it needs to store that username, password, and other fields too. So now the third layer comes into the role, that is a MySQL layer. So what does a MySQL layer actually does? It just stores the data in the form of metadata, which you already learned. So the thing which can communicate with the MySQL is PHP. So it can just interchange the data, it can select the data or update the data, or even modify it or even delete it. So by using this, we can perform a lot of operations like validation or even insertion or even a push notification and many other things. So for example, let us consider a Facebook thing or any login page. That is a username and the password which are sent from the sign-in form. Like yes, it will be contained like this. And when you type the username and password, it's just sent to the server side. So in the server, the Apache redirects to the PHP, and the PHP checks the value of the particular text box with the database value. Like your username should match with the database username, and your password must match with the database password. That is your registered password. So if both are equal, we send the validation as the login is correct, and the home page will be sent to the user. If it is incorrect, then the output should be some kind of error page. So this is how the whole thing executes with the help of a database, and this is how actually the PHP works. So in this next tutorial, we are going to see how to install WAMP and how to execute the first PHP page. Thank you. Stay tuned.